As results begin to come in throughout the evening, our election panel will be here to break down what we're seeing. So let's send it over to Blake Hansen, Stephen Dial, and Sean Rabb.
All right, thanks, Clarice. There's going to be a lot to talk about all throughout the evening as we start to get those results coming in. Already a couple states reporting, but 7 o'clock is going to be a key moment when we start to get a lot more states coming in. I want to talk through, first of all, the timing of everything tonight. And I want to show a quote from Art in Michigan. He is basically the head of the decision desk at Fox News. And he said in an interview with Politico, so I'd say the over-under is Saturday, which was when the call was made last time, which is when Pennsylvania is likely to come in. So he's saying Saturday is when we expect a decision to be made. Do you think there's any chance we see anything tonight? Or more than likely, is this going to be a long road ahead?
Well, I think really it's going to come down to, depending on the Kamala Harris route, if she wins a different route that doesn't really lean on Pennsylvania, then we could have an earlier night. Now, if we're just waiting on Pennsylvania, it's going to possibly be a couple of days. I don't think Saturday, though. They have some new equipment. Supposed to go a little faster, so we'll have to wait and see.
They do, but in Pennsylvania, they can't even open the mail-in ballots until Election Day, and they can't count any of the ballots that's come in until after the polls close. So you have all the mail-in, you have all the early voting, and you have today, and it's a slow process there in Pennsylvania.
Now let's talk about, for both candidates, it's really tough to see a path to victory without Pennsylvania. I mean, there are ways to go about doing it, but Pennsylvania seems to be the most direct way to the presidency right now.
And that's why you see all the candidates spending so much time. I mean, Kamala Harris yesterday being in Pennsylvania, actually going to people's doors all night.
Both candidates made 80 trips to Pennsylvania alone. It is the key, the Keystone State is the key to this election for either party.
Yeah, absolutely. We, of course, also have a Texas Senate race that's ongoing. You saw Peyton was talking about it a little bit there. This is a very different race than we saw in 2018, the last time that Senator Cruz was up for re-election. I covered Beto O'Rourke's campaign then, when he was going to every state, embracing social media, was live streaming constantly. It was out there a lot. This was, it's not that it was quiet, but this was a much quieter approach to this. You've talked to Colin Allred a lot about his approach.
Two totally different candidates, right? And some people wishing that maybe Colin Allred had the charisma of Beto O'Rourke, but the policy of Colin Allred. You know, Allred ran a different campaign. It was a disciplined campaign. We'll have to see if it paid off. His campaign believes that they had the ground game, but he really has to make inroads in those major counties. I mean, if he does not run it up or at least win Tarrant County, I mean, we could be talking about an early night for Allred.
So the big difference, as you mentioned, Beto went to all 254 counties. He connected with younger people in a different kind of way. They were excited and had a different kind of hope about the election. Colin Allred, more mainstream in many ways, even his presentation, and he is focused on Dallas and Tarrant and Harris. He gets Dallas, he gets Harris County, likely, easily. Question is, how many of the people turning out today will press the button for Colin Allred? So far in Dallas County, 136,681 votes today. That eclipses 2020 and 2016's general election. But where do those people vote, Democrat or Republican? It's going to be tough for him, I think. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll be closely looking at Tarrant County, certainly, as one of the first indicators of how that's going to go. Clarice, we'll send it back to you.